remember when we started talking about public speaking and I told you that there were 3 general purposes to giving a speech: inform, persuade, and entertain. I'm Dr. Heidi. We're going to explore informative speaking using the Pocket Guide to Public Speaking, 7th edition, presentational aids. Informative speaking has a goal of imparting knowledge. It's intended to raise awareness or deepen the understanding of some phenomenon. It brings new topics to light or offers new insights on familiar subjects. Use an audience analysis to determine what the audience already knows so that you can inform them of other information or provide new or novel information that will keep their attention throughout. If you use an audience analysis, you can gauge listeners' knowledge of the topic and likely interests or needs concerning the topic. It also allows you to adjust your speech so you can focus on the most important information. Like I mentioned, you want to present new and interesting information. You want to seek out an unusual angle, novel interpretations, moving stories, or striking examples. The reason for this is to keep people interested and engaged in your speech. You want to look for ways to increase understanding. Help the listeners to follow along. You want to prepare a well-organized introduction, make liberal use of transitions in moving from one point to the next, use internal previews and internal summaries, use rhetorical devices to reinforce information, and help listeners to mentally organize ideas. Throughout our study of public speaking, we have touched on all of these items, so make sure if you don't understand them to go back and review my other videos. The subject matter for informative speeches is different from entertaining or persuasive speeches. Informative speeches could be about an object or a phenomena, using various aspects of non-human subjects, or they could be about people. Impact of individuals and groups on society might be one example. There's also the subject matter of informative speeches in the form of events. These are noteworthy occurrences, past and present, or processes, how something is done, how something is made, and how something works. I have my students do a process speech in the form of a demonstration speech. They need to learn about something from a culture other than their own and demonstrate it to the audience. I've heard a variety of fun speeches, including how to do origami, how to salsa dance, how to create a variety of dishes from different cultures, etc. There are awesome speeches to be had in a demonstration process speech. Concepts can also be part of the informative speaking situation. They help to explain abstract or complex ideas, theories, or beliefs. Issues can also be the subject of informative speeches. These might include problems or matters of dispute, intended to raise awareness or deepen an understanding, and they are not intended to advocate a position. So you might use this to explain something about an HOA, the Homeowners Association, or how a homeowners association works. You aren't necessarily asking people to join the HOA, and you are not necessarily persuading them to do something about or with the HOA. You're just explaining what a homeowners association is. You have to decide how to communicate your information. You can provide a definition. There are a couple of different types of definition. There's the operational definition, definition by negation, definition by example, definition by analogy, and definition by word origin. The first one tells us what something does. The next one tells us what something is not. The next provides solid examples, then provides the analogy provides a comparison, and the origin illustrates the root meaning of a word or a topic. Description is another way to communicate information. You can describe something by providing an array of details, painting a mental picture for your listeners, and using concrete words and vivid imagery. Again, my students also do a demonstration speech where they verbally demonstrate the steps involved in a process or a procedure. Finally, you can also communicate your information through an explanation. An explanation provides reasons or causes, it demonstrates relationships, and it offers an interpretation or analysis. You want to take steps to reduce confusion when you're giving an informative speech. Remember, the purpose is different. It is just to provide information. So you want to use analogies to build on prior knowledge. You need to relate to what the listeners already know. You want to demonstrate underlying causes, acknowledging common misconceptions, and offering an explanation of the underlying causes. You can appeal to different learning styles, particularly in an informative speech. You can use visuals, which include pictures, tables, charts, maps, and videos. You can use oral information, which is lectures, audio, group discussions, or podcasts. You can read or write the information on handouts and text-based slides. Or you can include kinesthetics, real-life demonstrations, models, or simulations. When you are arranging an informative speech, you may consider these patterns: topical, chronological, spatial, cause-effect, and narrative. Topical is when a topic naturally divides itself into different main points. Chronological is a time continuum. Spatial is using different spaces to describe things like directions or parts of a building. Cause and effect, define the cause and tell what the cause affects. Or a narrative, which of course you know is a story. There are many ways to give an informative speech. The most important thing about giving an informative speech to remember is your sole purpose is to inform. It is not necessarily to persuade, or not at all to persuade, and not necessarily to entertain, although you could entertain people through an informative speech. The purpose, though, really of an informative speech is to provide more information.